All of my friends who have kids are in hell. I actually don't know anyone who's like happy and has children at this age. Anyone who has like light in their eyes, anyone who has slept. All
As someone with kids, let me tell you that it is not hell having kids. I had my first kid when I was 16 and my second kid when I was 28. And honestly, I could not imagine myself without my children. Everybody just assumes that once you have kids, that your life is over, and that's not the case. Me and my wife, we still get to do everything that we ever wanted to do, even with kids. If we want to travel, we take our kids with us, and it's still fun. Like maybe you can't go super crazy and get drunk at every bar and go party like a wild animal, but it's still fun and beneficial to have kids. They bring so much joy to your life. I don't know how old this young woman is. She can't be no older than she can't be past her 30s. I'm 30, and let me like it's nothing wrong with having kids, and I feel like there's a narrative being pushed that once you have kids that your life is over, and that's not true. You know, um like I said, you could still do a lot of things, pretty much anything that you could do when you didn't have kids with kids. You just have to do it and plan it the correct way. And you definitely want to be married to the person you're having kids with. I feel like there's a strong narrative being pushed that like it's just like the end of your world once you have kids, and it's just not the case. I love my two daughters and my stepdaughter. I could not imagine not having them in my life, and I don't know. I just feel like she's sending the wrong message to a lot of young people and people in their 30s. I know a lot of people that's like my age and older or a little bit younger, and they don't even have kids. And I'm just like, I'm not saying that everybody needs to have kids, but there's nothing wrong with having kids. It's not the end of the world once you have kids. It's still a lot you can do, and it's just you want to keep your bloodline going. You want to have the next generation to come up because after you, if you don't have no siblings with kids, you pretty much your bloodline is over. So like I know this generation shames marriage and kids and family, but y'all got to think about it. We're not going to be in our 20s and 30s forever. At a certain point, you're going to want to start a new legacy. You want to start your own legacy. You want to have a new generation coming up under you, and you don't want to be 50, 60 years old traveling. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being 50 and 60 and traveling, but what more are you going to have to offer in life? There's so much more to life than just partying and going everywhere, and traveling. You want to have a legacy. You want to have kids come up. You want to raise kids with somebody you love and have a beautiful family. Like I said, it's not bad. Everybody in this generation, I feel like, just shames it, and it's not a bad thing.